What's cracking with you people? Anansi here and welcome back to Sudeki. In the last one, we, well, we encountered our Aclorian counterparts in the world of Acloria. Elko had a massive crisis of identity, got his very first spirit skill strike, and now we are tasked with Lady Caprine to go with 3 of our Aclorian counterparts as Tal to retrieve the Vessel of True Sight. We are specifically going with Kazel, Nico, and Alexine. And we're going to head to I believe the Aclorian Stronghold. Now, we can go ahead and do some stuff with these party members, but I'm going to level with you. There's nothing we can't do with our regular party, so we're going to be saving those for when we get our original squad back. And that's pretty much it, because to be perfectly frank with you, the only difference between Tal and Kazel, Alexine and Ailish, Nico and Buki is the sheer fact that their color schemes are a little bit darker. Well, and the obvious character design, but they have the exact same fighting styles, the exact same skills. They might come in at different levels, but for all intents and purposes, there is no real difference to really go into. But what I am going to go into, however, is shin split here. Shin split here. Is that for all intents and purposes, each one has some very interesting backstory, like character creation history. Specifically, Nico. Okay, I am about to die here, so let's go ahead and swap to Alexine and do Witch's Gifts. Because honestly, I don't want to die, because even if you do die, you lose all of your SP, which is weird, but you do. Oh, that's a shadow ball. Okay, I gotta be careful with that one. Or is that that's him doing that thing. Okay. Okay, my bad. For a second there, I forgot it was Sudeki and not another Spirit Nectar. Can I use some of this real fast? Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, let's do that. These guys are charged here. But I mean, it's like, what I'm getting at is that, we're going to be talking pretty much about some design features and some design changes that I find interesting. And we're going to start off with Elko. Some of y'all may have noticed that Elko got his Spirit Strike here in Acloria. I personally think that we should have gotten his Spirit Strike back in what was the word for here? Back in Transcentia. It would have been a little bit close to when Buki got her second one. But I mean, if you really think about it in terms of like Ailish and Tal, Ailish got her first Spirit Strike pretty close to when Tal got his, you know. But still, the designers made the choice to have Elko receive his first Spirit Strike here in Acloria, upon learning that their situation in Acloria is a little bit different than what he had come to expect. Ostensibly, Kazel had pretty much laid out that, what's this? This poster advertises sightseeing boat rides around the beautiful Scientine Citadel, but I doubt they get much business anymore. The area has obviously seen better days. Yeah, you're not kidding. But yeah, no, I mean, Elko, die, Caprine, die, has been scrawled in blood. Those now whose blood is not clear. Man, that reading could have got a lot better. But yeah, no, dang. So someone was not a fan of Caprine. If I had to guess, Lady Caprine. We'll get back into that in a second here, but if I want to, well, okay, let's finish up with Elko, then we'll go from there. So, with regards to Elko, he got his Spirit Strike in Aporia. But I think he was meant to get it a little bit earlier.
I don't see why we need the help of a Hyskillian on this mission.
If it means we succeed in our mission, it will be worth it.
Okay, because Nico has some interesting thoughts with regards to having Tal on the team. But, what's the word I'm looking for now? Right, if you notice in a pre-render cutscene, you saw that if you pay close attention to the pre-render cutscene, it was the cutscene right before Tal and Elko entered the Scientist Citadel when it flashed back and kind of shows Hyskillia at the same time to really run the point home. This is the dark mirror of Illumina. You'll note that Elko's already in his level 1 attire. It could be the last time we're going to see some. Oh wow, they are tearing him apart. But it isn't going to be the last time we see some off modeling, or I guess not really certain what to actually call it, but. I think for the first time we see a I hit the wrong one there. I think it'll be the last time we're going to see something like that. It's not the first time actually either. I think we saw a little bit of it with regards to Ailish and Transcendent. I think once before as well, when we just kind of see the characters sitting around and we're not in control of them. While Ailish was probably one of the more egregious examples of it, this is one of those blink you'll miss moments. If you'll notice, whether she's alive or dead, they seem to be feeding on the lava. Oh, I forgot you got to take a look at that. But if you notice in the cutscene where they're walking to Citadel, Elko's already in his level 1 armor. Well, his level 2 armor, technically. His first Spirit Skill Strike armor, I should say. Which makes me believe, and I haven't seen anything to corroborate this, and I did read them, and I remember I looked into a little bit of this. I didn't see anything to corroborate it, but from what I can tell, I think they had intended Elko to get his Spirit Strike sooner. Just going off of what I've seen with that, and just giving some of the hints, and some of the design changes that those are the design questions that some design policies that I have seen, and I think they had intended on Elko to get his level 1 strike a lot sooner than what he did. I think originally they had intended for Elko to get his skill strike before Transcentia, and for Ailish to get her first one after. Because otherwise, they're usually pretty good about putting the characters when they're not being controlled by the player in their up-to-date models, narratively speaking. So like, you'll see Ailish, and if she's wandering around, you'll see her in her I'm getting that stuff here. Okay. Do that real fast. But you'll see her in like her shadow armor, like I forget what it's called. You'll see her in her level 1 armor. You'll see her in her level 2 armor. You'll see them in the appropriate armors throughout the game. The only difference is that there are moments where it's like they don't have them in it. So it just kind of makes me wonder if they had intended to have each character be at a certain point narratively later or sooner than they intended to, or if they just completely forgot. Let's go ahead and heal up real quick as well. Everyone is getting their butts handed to them.
You can't resist my healing kiss.
Oh, another thing. But the last when I say that does not must to show up, I literally mean does not to show up because I mean every single foreign counterpart character has the exact same voice lines for their skills that their Illumina counterparts have. So there literally is not much need to what's going over here? Oh, missed that one. Oh, this one right there. Tal got level. Anyone else get a level up? Nope, just Tal. Okay. There really isn't a need to go into detail because they literally have they have everything exactly the same down to the voice lines. That is how similar everybody is. Here. It would probably be better to get his power up, actually. Should I do that? We'll do this one right here. But yeah, it's just one of those things that goes a little bit further towards my idea, or at least what I feel is that they had meant for Elko to reach an epiphany or to have a moment of crisis a lot sooner than what they had intended, but due to time constraints and maybe due to design ideas, they had to push some of that back. I mean, it happens. Not everything goes according to plan when it comes to getting any project done, be it a game project, school project, movie project, whatever it is. Not everything goes according to plan. Which brings me to my next case. Trust me, we are not done with Elko, but I want to save that one for later. Which brings me to my next one, Nico. Nico is essentially Buki. And I don't mean that in a Hadoi sense. I mean, when you look at pre-rendered concept art, and some I shot there, and some early game footage, Buki was a very, very, very different character compared to who she is now. As you come to know Buki in this adventure, she is a very religious, very spiritual individual. She is straight-faced, to the point. She says what she means what she says. Would you believe in that early release footage, Buki had a much more playful personality? Like, she was a trickster, essentially. She was the Joker of the group. She was... Bro, put it like this. If Ailish and Buki's relationship can be described as two friends with mutual respect for each other, and her relationship to Tal is just this one of two warriors essentially respecting each other for all intents and purposes, and her relationship to Elko can be seen as more antagonistic. Antagonistic and big close. She has a respect for him, but it's like they're still kind of working through that whole situation. Her relationship to the rest of the crew, with regards to her earlier incarnation, was that the playful little sister. That is now Nico. For all intents and purposes, that is now Nico. Down to even her character design. I mean, if you look up early release footage, you'll see that essentially. Okay, well, they all got level up, so I guess we'll go ahead and get their other skills, because they're pretty much good in terms of abilities and whatnot. Just going to get some skills, because there really isn't much of a need to get their powers and abilities up. But yeah, no, I mean, if you look at it, but yeah, I mean, what am I trying to say here? Oh yeah, just picture Nico in her current form with black hair, and that's Buki. Buki actually, in terms of design, had probably the most redesigns done to her. To a Florian Stronghold. Okay. And look at this, there's an Elivitus Falter for those of you who want to still have any ego totems left to hand in. We passed a Karaston, we passed a Levius, and we passed a Elivitus Falter. So this is literally for, they're literally along the way. So if you have 80 totems that you've yet to turn in, now's your chance to do it. Okay. But because I mean, one of the things is that when they I think the announcement trailer for I want to say the E3 announcement trailer for Sudeki looks dangerously hot. Let's avoid it. No duh. You see the siege ogre that Tal killed at the beginning of the game, and you see Buki essentially kind of skipping up to it with this playful look on her face, like I'm gonna patch you, and then she does something, and then the ogre freaks out. He sees Tal and Elko come running at him, and he's like, oh crap, I'm in trouble, and then he runs off. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get to take care of this scribe, because oh boy. And then you see like another trailer of her, and you see Buki with white hair. And it's very clearly Buki. And she's with Tal and Elko and Ailish. It's very clearly those characters because it is the same character colors, the same character design, same personality. And then you see a transition to the Dark World, but it's still them. I think they just had a hard time pinning down her design, even to the final game. Because there's concept art of her with a different kind of twin tail hair, because I think they wanted to try to get the twin tail hair to work, and they eventually just dropped it. But what's really strange is that it seems like they couldn't even get it right even into the final game, because if you notice Buki's character portrait, she has this look of this very dignified, or at least very strong, independent woman with her hair cut in kind of this bob cut. But if you look at her in-game model, the twin tails that Nico has are tied into these little buns on the back of her head. So I think even into the final days of the game, they still weren't sure what they wanted to do with her character design. I mean, in the end, I think Nico and Buki have pretty amazing character designs, so I might be a little bit biased. I wonder why. But yeah, it's very clear. It's clear that they were still having trouble with some of the character designs, even into the end game. Even to the context of development. Which brings me to one very notable thing. Now, in the cutscene when we beat Nasaria, and we see Ailish get knocked out by their foreign counterparts, we hear mention of Kazel having Talos for a brother. That Talos is no longer part of his family. That pretty much lets us in on the secret right there that whereas Tal's brother in Aquaria got killed, in Illumina got killed by Aquarian raiders, Kazel's brother did something terrible that essentially got him disowned by his family. And considering that we see Talos in game, he is this weird amalgamation of just blades and mechanical parts, which makes me wonder if he was like a prototype for what would eventually be Elko's arm. Grafting machinery onto a human specimen. Because his right hand is a purely just mechanical skeleton. That's all it is. With blades on it. I mean, I imagine shaking hands with the guy is not a pleasant experience. And you might wonder, like, what does he look like? Well, here's the thing. Sudeki kind of spoils Aquaria and Kazel. They spoil Gloria once, they spoil Cazelle twice. But at the very least, they got very lazy with design. So, on the back of the case of Sudeki, if you have a physical copy, you will see the gang in Gloria. You will see Talos on the back of the case, and you'll see, for some odd reason, Ferrex's lore. I don't know why, but he is just on the case, and I honestly have no reason why he just is. He's not narratively significant. Wow, Tal, you are just leveling up like crazy, aren't you? Let's go and get Cazelle up. Let's see, which was Nico for a little bit. But you know, it's like on the back of the case, they show off quite clearly Ferrex's lore, and it's odd because he's not narratively important. In terms of the narrative of the game, in terms of the narrative of Sudeki, Ferrex's lore is literally just a random boss you have to fight to get the navigation stones. To get the navigation stone for you to then traverse between the Shadow Realm, the Shadow Nexus, and pretty much anywhere else in the game. And it's just weird that they put the big emphasis on it, but they also show Tal standing next to Cazelle, and he's just on the back of the case for no apparent reason. I don't know why. It literally makes, like, by all accounts, it doesn't make any sense. And then, if you remember back to Tal's room, you should, because I drew attention to it a little bit earlier, and then the game drew attention to it via cutscene. Cazelle doesn't just look like Tal's brother. It'd be one thing if he looked like a brother of Tal, but you could just make the assumption that they were twins. He looks like Tal. He looks like Tal's brother down to a T. He's even wearing the exact same clothing. And there's no narrative reason why. He just is. And I think it's just, and I honestly think it's because they really didn't have, I think it was meant to be a placeholder. And then they eventually just said, screw it, we're going to go ahead and just go with it. Let's see, up there, okay, so yeah, we're going to hold off there. We're going to keep going to Chlorine Stronghold. Eagle Rock. I don't know where we're gonna come back here, because trust me, there is oh boy, is there something to do here. Okay, so here we go with Alexine, and Alexine has the exact same skills as Ayla, so we can just go in and dispel the rocks. Garen's Pass.
Well, I have to admit, Tal, you can handle a sword. In the Elite Guard, we learned to love the art of swordsmanship.
You still have a way to go to catch up with Cazelle.
So we get right there that Alexine and that Ailish's opponent counterpart likes Tal's opponent counterpart. So at least there's no awkwardness in that situation. But no, but yeah, they have Cazelle is very clearly designed to be Tal's older brother. Please wait, loading the Chlorine Stronghold. Oh boy.
I feel the same way about you, Chlorine.
Well, that was something. Then here we are in the Snow Mountain Pass. Well, no, that's Star Fox Adventures. Oh dear me. Okay, so let's go up here, and we're probably gonna call it a part here the moment I find a save spot, because we are overtime. But yeah, no, and there's a lot more to talk about, because oh boy, is there a lot to talk about with regards to these characters. But yeah, it's just once again one of those things where it's like you wonder Oh wow, this is the Accordion Citadel, huh? This is going to be one heck of a dungeon. Well, here we are, save point. But before we save, I want to just kind of finish up this thought. Yeah, they have Kazelle look like Tal's older brother, even down to the character design in game. But before you guys get any ideas, Kazelle is very clearly Tal's Accordion counterpart. It's not a situation where it's like, oh, he might be Tal's older brother. No, they very clearly mean for Kazelle to be Tal. And we're going to get more into that next time, because there's a lot more to go with, because there's still one thing regarding Alexine that ties into Ailish that's going to really change your viewpoints on her as a character, if you don't like her already. Anyway, I've been Anansi, you've been awesome, and I'll catch you later.